Hey guys, it's Silverwolf here, and I'm doing a request today for Liam Ringer, who wanted to see Aibo and Zuma compared together. So that's what I'll be doing in this video. We'll be looking at a Aibo 210A Supercore compared to the regular Zuma Dalmatian, which was the first one to be released, and look at all the features and functions of them. So first of all, let's do the shoutouts. Today they go to Waito the Furby. Furby is a Japan Furb. The Mythical Owl, Steve Tumandeo, Tyler Z Warrior Gaming, OK No, Victor Yakota, Kirby Fan, Bibe the Rare Furby Boom, Ben 10 Reboot, Abdallah Best 267, Furby World, Yellow Yoshi, Yanshi the Pink Yarn Yoshi Amiibo, Yoshi Saw the Custom Yoshi Amiibo, Kitty Gamer Girls, Awesome Cat 3345 the Awesomest, Lex the Aibo ERS 110, Potatoes Are Awesome, and Bendy Demon. So let's have a look at these guys. Now the Zuma was released, well, I suppose a few years ago. It's been out for quite a while now, and the first one to come out was of course the Dalmatian, and then they branched out into other ones, including even Paw Patrol type Zumas. I believe there is a Marshall and a Sky available. And my other Zuma, of course, the Shadow version, and there's another one as well that I can think of, but I can't remember its name. And the Aibo came out back in sort of like early 2000s, 2001, with the 110s and then the 210s, well, 110, 111, 210, 211, and so on. And I have the 210A Supercore. The Supercore just means its battery's better, that's all. And 210A, they got rid of the droopy head syndrome from the original 210s that they found they had a problem with. So yeah, as far as these robots go, they are both, I think they're both really good robots. The Zuma, he's really fun. His battery only lasts about half an hour and it takes a couple of hours to charge, which is the real downside with Zuma. But he is rechargeable, which is great because then he doesn't eat batteries. The Aibo is also rechargeable. He takes quite a while to charge as well, I'd say a couple of hours. But his battery does last a pretty long time. Mine lasts for about an hour and a half. But the only problem is, of course, the Aibo is becoming redundant. They don't make the batteries anymore. And, of course, it's hard to get something that's not made. So you can get the battery refilled by people like, what's his name? Wolf Bob, I believe. Yeah, Aibo Bob, Wolf Bob. But, yeah, he'll refuel your batteries, and I think a couple of other people will as well, but it's still, you know, shipping a battery and it's kind of expensive and that, so yeah. So let's have a look at the features of these guys. Now we have the Aibo first of all. I'll do a straight on comparison. So first of all, how do they see the world? The Aibo sees the world through his camera. It's a colour camera, he can see in colour. The Zuma, he doesn't see like the Aibo. He's got these things here. Now those are light sensitive, so he can sense when he's going to bump into something. That's how he sees, with those patches on his tummy there. So when he drives up to something, he will back up, turn around and go away from it. Both of them have LEDs in their heads. The Aibo has 3. He's got angry, he's got happy, and he's got sad. And the Zuma, he's got his LEDs there, and they form patterns depending on whether he's happy, sad, or anything else. Or asleep or anything. So that's the LEDs in the eyes. Their movement. Now, can they hear? First of all, before I go to their movement, can they hear? Now, he can hear. And he hears, if you look here, he's got these. That's how he hears, and it's also where, like, you can hear the sound coming out, but he hears in stereo. He's got those there as well. He has voice recognition. Zuma also has voice recognition. He can understand simple commands, and you can also sort of teach him things, although I'm not sure whether he remembers them, because mine did know how to play dead, but he doesn't really do it anymore. But that was the Shadow, not the Zuma. My Shadow knew how to play dead, but he didn't really do it in the last video I did of them, so he may have forgotten. The Aibo does retain things in its memory. Yeah, so their movement. Aibo's legs. Oh, something just fell over. Now the Aibo's legs, you can see, have got joints. He's got sensors on the bottom of his paws. These know whether he's on the ground or not, so when you pick him up he knows he's not on the ground and he goes into pick up mode, which means he doesn't struggle. His back legs move in a similar fashion, so you can see there, front and back legs. They do move quite slowly, Aibos. They don't rush around, which is completely the opposite to Zuma, of course. Zuma does rush around like a maniac, and that's why I'm not switching them on today, because Aibo's just going to walk slowly around. Zuma will just run away off the camera. People have asked for me to do a video of the Aibos and the Zumas, but there wouldn't really be any comparison because the Zuma won't be near enough to the Aibo half the time for me to actually compare them. So that's why I'm not doing a live sort of switched on comparison. This is just a visual one of them both. As far as other things are concerned, when he talks, his mouth opens. He talks in a series of bleeps. You can get programs such as Aibo recognition that have a voice to them, although it does get annoying after a while. Zuma makes more sort of doggy noises. He kind of barks and things like that. Also, Zuma's movement, unlike the Aibo, he's got a jointed waist. You can see there. He can also self-right, so can the Aibo. He's got wheels instead of paws, but his legs do have quite a bit of movement, and they've got similar joints to the Aibo's legs. While I've got him here, his battery charge thing. His battery's inside him in this chest part, but that's where the charging cable goes into that little hole there. That's his on-off switch, and that's different languages, so you can have him in, I think it's English, Spanish and French. Obviously I have him in English. It's only so that you can give him commands in different languages if you happen to speak that language. Pick him up again. We've got sensors here. He's got a back sensor. He actually, he's got a head sensor as well, which you can't see because it's not a button, it's literally a touch sensor. And that's it for the Zuma's sensors. He's also got a very wiggly tail. You can see that there, wiggling away. But the Aibo has a chin sensor under there. He's got a little, sort of like a little knobble, and that's his chin sensor. He's got a back sensor here, and he's also got a head sensor up there. So the Aibo has more sensors, although he doesn't move quite as frantically as the Zuma. Zuma really does live up to his name, he zooms about. And the Aibo's battery compartment is underneath him. It's got no battery in at the moment, but his battery goes in there. That's where his memory stick goes. That's his personality. So the Aibo has different personalities you can put in him. You can even program your own if you want to, which makes him very versatile. He's running Aibo Life 2 at the moment, and I have my other Aibos on different personality sticks. The only downside I would say with the Aibo, of course, apart from it becoming obsolete, is that Sony sticks to Sony. So if you want to have a memory stick and you want to write a new program to it or whatever, you have to have a Sony stick reader, which is a bit annoying because anything else, you put the stick in, anything else, you just slot it in your computer, it'll wipe it. Just wipe it clean. And I know that happens because it happened to me when I first had the Aibo. I thought, ah, yeah, I can just put it in my computer. No, you need a Sony stick reader or something that makes it think it's a Sony stick reader. I was chatting to someone recently and they've got a different type of stick reader and it thinks it's a Sony one. So yeah, basically it's not the first time Sony's done that. They tend to like their own brand, but it does kind of stab a company in the leg a little bit when they stick to their own brand, because it means that they're not very versatile. So yeah, there's a bit of a problem. But other than that, I think the Aibo is, well, I mean, I think personally the Aibo is more, it's my favourite. It's more advanced than the Zuma. The Zuma's very fun, and it's perfect, you know, for if you want a fairly cheap robot to run around and stuff like that. The Aibo is, I would say, for a more advanced robot owner, because you've got to treat it with respect. It's not a toy, really. It's more of, well, just got to be careful with it because it's got delicate parts and it will break. I mean, the Zuma's fairly delicate too, but it'll take more of a sort of, I don't know, the Zuma can fall down the stairs and probably be okay. If the Aibo fell down the stairs, it probably wouldn't be okay, put it that way. So yeah, so the Aibo is really for a more experienced robot owner, because when you have one, not only do you have to know how to look after it, but you've got to know how to, like, troubleshoot it, repair it, fix it, things like that. And I've learnt an awful lot about robots and mechanics through owning an Aibo. So that's pretty much the comparison between the two. I'm sorry that I couldn't have them on today, but as I said, the Zuma would just rush off and the Aibo would just be stood there like, what's going on? So yeah, so they can both see, they can both hear an answer to your voice. The Aibo can also take photos with its camera as well, which it saves to its memory stick. Sometimes it just sits down and takes one, other times it asks your permission. They both know their names, like Zuma recognises Zuma, and whatever you've called your Aibo, it'll recognise it. The nice thing about Aibo is that you can program it to recognise a name that you give it. And they both have rechargeable batteries. So yeah, the Aibo is a lot smarter, but the Zuma is still very fun, and I have to say, for a fairly cheap robot, the Zuma is pretty quality, I would say, and fun as well. All apart from the fact that its battery doesn't last very long, it takes too long to charge. But other than that, yeah, it's really fun. And it's rewarding as well because you can get it to do tricks. So, there we go. There's the comparison. And I hope you enjoyed this, and this is Silverwolf signing off. See you next time.